There was no mass killing. There was no indistinguished destruction. There was peace and security. Am I saying that the Islamic Khilafah should be established again? This is not my point. What I'm trying to say is this, that if we compare the period of civilization dominance in the human mankind history, you would certainly find that at the period when Islamic Khilafah dominating, there was peace and security for the whole mankind more than any other civilization, and certainly, definitely, undoubtedly better than the current civilization of the 21st century. There is no doubt about that. Facts state that. Now, let me remind you, please, that I was speaking in the second area in my message, which is how do we see ourselves, and I am speaking in the understanding of time, and I was speaking about history, present, and future. Before closing the first point on how do we look to ourselves, i.e. time, I want to speak to you to our understanding of death. I said before that time, in my understanding, is a unit, and it has three components. Now, death is not an end of time. It is the event by which we start, we think, the second component of time, although it appears as the end of time. It's only the end of the first component of time, as the start of the second component of time. Now, while we are in our graves, I mean while our bodies is in the graves, our soul are alive in the second component of time, and we have the details for that. When we rise from our graves, that event of raising from our graves by our bodies and our soul returns to it, that is the start of the third component of time. And the third component of time runs until final destination is secured for every single human from the beginning of the creation of Adam and Eve up until the last human soul died on this planet. After the final destination of every single human is known, time ends. As a matter of fact, we believe that time is a creation, and by itself it's going to die. After that, there is no time, when everybody is in his final destination. This understanding of death will probably explain the high tolerance to death among Muslim cultures and Muslim individuals. Of course, this does not mean at all that we do not respect life, or we do not respect the life of the human body, or of the human being, I should say. On the contrary, life is very valuable and it is very precious, to the extent that we believe in the Muslim cultures, and as Muslim individual, we believe that we do not own our life. Our life does not belong to us, but we are having the full authority to choose all our deeds during this life, and we know that we are accountable, we will all be accountable for our deeds in front of our Constitution. Every deed we believe, everything we do, everything we say is recorded, and we will be holding accountable for it at the day of judgment, which is in the third component of time. Now, that will lead me to speak about our Constitution. Our Constitution, as Muslim culture, is surely an identity to us, and we look to ourselves as having this Constitution. Our Constitution, characterized by being, we believe, complete, applicable, practical, and accommodative. In a few minutes, I'm going to give you verses from the Quran, which is our Constitution, to prove this point of view that the Constitution is complete, applicable, practical, and accommodative. Now, when I say that I'm going to give you verses, I mean that I'm going to give you the meaning of the verses of the Constitution, because Quran is only Quran when it is in Arabic language, said by the Arabic language and written by a certain way in Arabic language. This Quran can be translated virtually to any language, but then it is the meaning of the Quran. It is not the Quran. Now, let me go back to the criteria of our Constitution. It is complete because it is telling us about everything that we need and everything that we should take care of and everything that we should refrain from in the first, the second, and the third component of time. So it is complete. And it is applicable, which means that it can be applied. Actually, it has been applied. And it is still now partially applied in the Muslim cultures. But there were instances when the Constitution was completely applied. So it can be done. And it has been done before from the applicability point of view. And it is practical, which means that to apply this Constitution, you do not need sophisticated situations. You do not need certain descendants from a certain ethnic group. It is practical in a sense that it is possible to apply and to practice without a lot of barriers or without barriers at all. However, there are certain conditions as in any other Constitution. But it is practical. It's not theory. It is not hypothesis. It is not something beyond the ability of the ordinary humans to practice it. And it is accommodative because to apply this Constitution, you do not need to isolate the society in a special land or in a special area. You don't need that. Or we don't need that, I mean. Isolation is not a prerequisite for the application of this Constitution. Also, this Constitution